Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. Here we are once again. It's another Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning in London at 1 a.m. It's Friday morning at 3 a.m. in Israel, and it's Friday morning at 10 a.m. in Tokyo. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Talk Back Live. This is a show where we get together each week, all of us together, you, me, and the rest of the world, and we engage in conversation, and we want you part of the action as well. All you have to do is just let your fingers do the walking. I'll tell you about that, how it goes, particularly if you're a newcomer. For all of you who've been around with us, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We are so grateful. But for you newbies, as they say, I don't know if they say that anymore, use that terminology, but for all of you new guys and gals who are out there, maybe coming in for the very first time, this is how we do it each week at this particular time. We always get things going, and while I'm getting the show set up, as I am doing now, you can, at any time you like, even right now, use your keyboard on your computer, on your cell phone, or on your tablet, or any other device that you can use that has a screen and a keyboard. You can get in touch with us, type in whatever you want to talk about. I will see you right there on the big screen. Of course, I'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, even if you have questions, because that's what it's all about. That's why we call it Talk Back Live. And that's all you have to do is just follow that method, and we'll get along very well. And we're going to be here, as I said, to the top of the next hour, of course, one full hour. And those of you who are watching us for the very first time, please be aware that we're on 3 different places right now. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So any one of those 3 will get you there. You can choose any one you like. And of course, we hope that you sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, a lot of people, they don't want to indulge in conversation. They just rather sit back, relax, and watch the show, which is fine, Although I like to interact with you personally. If I see you out there, I would like to say hello to you personally, call your name out and say hi. But if you prefer not to, it's okay. The main thing is that you're out there. And whatever time you can spare with us, if you have to leave early, well, we'll understand. But whatever time you can spare with us, we'll be grateful, and we really would appreciate that. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook, take the time right now to tag your friends. If not all, some of them, pick a few. Even if it's one, I don't care, and if you can't do them all at one time, maybe each week as you go along, you can tag another one, then another one, and so forth and so on. And they'll get the message. They'll see that message coming from you, right? If they're online, and all they have to do is just click onto it. Preferably, that's probably my name. They click onto it, and it brings them directly to us, and they could be part of the action too. They'll see you, they'll see me, and everyone else that's here as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, well, you already know that I always ask each and every one of you to take the time out to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is just drag your little mouse over there where it says subscribe, the arrow pointed right there, click onto it, and it's just as simple as that. No money involved. You don't have to have anything, just nothing involved. We don't ask for any money here. Isn't that nice? So it's all absolutely free. All you have to be is proactive and do your part and just click on and subscribe, because the more the merrier. We really would appreciate you. You really help us out when you do that. So please do that right now if you possibly can. And for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, hello. Thank you so much for being with us. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is, what I want you to do is just keep spreading the word about the show. Keep it going. Let everybody know that we're out here as well, so we can have a little fun. Because, if they like what they see and if they like what they hear, hopefully, got my fingers crossed for that one, maybe they'll be back again and again, just like you. We really would appreciate that. Anyway, as we always do, we interact with you personally. And not only that, we have our own little niche on the show, right? We have coming up in this particular half hour, and it's not too long from now, just minutes from now, we're going to link up with Brian Camp coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He'll be here. He has for us the latest developments in today's world of sports. Part of his show on this show, it's called Sports Update, and he'll be bringing all of that to you. That's coming up in just a few minutes from now, so we want you to stick around for that. And if you have any sports-related questions to bring along to Brian, he doesn't mind. All you have to do is just ask, use your fingers on the keyboard, let your fingers walk on the keyboard, right? And ask him the questions, and of course, he'll get it out to you. Now, if you are watching us on Instagram, now, everyone who watches on Facebook and YouTube, they'll get a chance to see his face. He'll be right on the screen with us, but we do not have that luxury on Instagram. However, you can still hear him. You'll be able to hear him, and you'll still be able to interact with him as well. All you have to do, again, let your fingers do the walking on that keyboard. And if whatever questions we have, if he doesn't see it, we'll see it. We see everything here. We'll see it from here. And what we'll do is we'll relay your question to him. If he doesn't see it, we'll relay it to him. And then everybody will be satisfied, all sports. Anyway, that's coming up. That's coming up later on, not too far away. And we'll be happy to see him there. And later on in the program as well, we have what we call This Day in History. Now, on this day, January 18th, boy, we're in the middle of the new year already, right? We're already in the middle of the month of January. We'll quickly, quickly move over to February. That won't be too long from now, a couple of weeks. But anyway, we have this day in history now. Whatever happened on this day in history, we're going to talk about that. If we have that information, we're going to talk about that. On this day in history, on January 18th, we'll find out what happened on this day, what kind of events that happened. And then later on in the program, as we drift along, when we get towards the end of the program, we're going to give you all of those great movies. Now, what I'd like to do each week is get together, pick out movies directly from Turner Classic Movies, movies of the week that I provide for you for the week, for your weekend. Now, the weekend is coming up just a couple of days away. Once we get by Friday, it'll be a gas, right? But anyway, we'll have those movies coming for you. A lot of you guys may want to add to your bucket list of what to watch, because some of the things that you may do on the weekend, and you want to take a little time out, just relax and watch some old movies or movies that you haven't seen in a long time, movies you want to catch up with. Well, I have a few that I'm going to convey to you later on in the program. That's all coming up. Remember that all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talkback Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So welcome one and all. Thank you once again for being with us. And if I haven't had a chance to wish you a Happy New Year, well, Happy New Year to you. Maybe a lot of you haven't been here since last year, and you're finally here. So I want to wish all of you a Happy New Year. So it's not really too late to wish everybody a Happy New Year. And when people wish people a Happy New Year, sometimes it goes up until February, way past February. After March, you would probably think that you had wished everyone a Happy New Year at that particular time, but it drifts on to February. So again, Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And I hope this year coming up will be a fantastic year for each and every one of you. Right. So that's what we got going. And that's going to be our show for this evening. All this week, we've been experiencing, I don't know about you, but we've had a lot of cold weather. And when you thought, those of you who live in climates that are kind of warm, and the lowest they can get, your coldest it could get would be 60 degrees. Well, you could shift that over here because I could use that. But we've been getting a lot of cold weather. We thought when Christmas came along, it wasn't so bad, at least not over here. It's usually now after Christmas, because, remember a long time ago when Christmas came around, it was almost guaranteed that you were going to get snow on the ground. You always look forward to that. We didn't get that, and we had some snow. We had a significant amount of snow this week, and it stuck to the ground in Manhattan, not too much, but I'm pretty sure in the outer boroughs, they probably stick. Now, we have a guy that does a weather report when it's kind of inclement. You know, he has his own show. And when you see inclement weather, he usually reports it from where he is, right? And when he showed the weather where he was live, you saw all of that snow and it was like crazy. Now, that was out in Brooklyn. And then I'm pretty sure in Long Island, you know, you got even worse. New Jersey, it's even worse because, you know, there's not a lot of buildings. But when you get into like somewhere in Manhattan, in the city, not a lot of snow for two reasons. We have that underground. I don't know if it's all over the city now, but in Manhattan, they want to keep things moving because it's a very congested city, right? Especially when it comes to traffic. And so they want to keep that pavement as clear as possible. So they have that underground heating generation. And on top of that, if needed, the snow plows come in, you know, if needed. And then people who own merchants, the merchants who own grocery stores, mom and pop stores and all of that, of course, they come along and they clean their sidewalks wherever they are. And, you know, the next thing you know, you don't have any snow. Now, if you're in the part of Manhattan right now, if you're living in Manhattan, you're watching Manhattan and you knew it snowed, you saw the snow, and you look out your window right now, you can see it's absolutely positively no snow now, maybe in certain spots in the grass areas or something like that, but not too much. But we've been getting a lot of cold weather. And yesterday was totally frigid. I mean, outside was the last place you wanted to be yesterday in New York. It was totally frigid. Today, it was still cold, but it was a heat wave today compared to yesterday. And so it's going to be a while before it's all over, before we get to the hot weather, before we get to the summertime and the spring. We've got a lot more cold weather to go. So it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. So anyway, and with that in mind, that lets me tell you about, you know, the flu season, which is already here. I know that you already had your flu shots already, and then hopefully your COVID shots, which you can still get, you know. And if you didn't get either one of those shots and you made it through so far, well, that's good. But you know something, again, this cold weather is not over. So what you want to do is try to be proactive and go to your pharmacist and make an appointment to get that COVID-19 shot. This is the latest vaccine for COVID-19. All right, it's the latest one. And it's upgraded and it's available for everyone. And so go out and get yours. People are still wearing the mask. Now, you know, when this weather is over, when this cold weather is over, I'm pretty sure, just like in the past, the spikes go down. It's always in the cold when it comes up. And it even happens for the flu. And you want to make sure that you're well protected. And you want to do that very well. So people, you see it advertised on TV a lot anyway, right? So I want to be one of the ones that be part of that to do that for you. And those of you who don't want to take it, well, you know something, that's your personal choice. And no one is going to get angry about it. But I always suggest that you do it. Keep yourself healthy and make sure that you do that. There you go. Anyway, just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. It's now 13 minutes past the hour. And again, those of you who are just joining us for the first time, please, if you have anything to say, if you have anything in particular you want to talk about, we'd be glad to hear from you. You know, some people, you know, say hi. Some people just type in and say hi, and I say hi back. But if there's something in particular that you want to talk about, we don't mind. Just type it in there, and we'll try to entertain all of that as much as you can, as much as we can. So we've got all of that going for you, and a lot of things are happening. So there you go. And so stay with us. Stay with us. Brian should be here in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, I want to go and talk about something. Here's a little news for you. Remember Joyce Randolph? Well, Joyce Randolph, she's a veteran stage and television actress whose role as the savvy Trixie Norton on The Honeymooners, she passed away this past week. Randolph died of natural causes Saturday night at a home and up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan in New York City, right here in New York City, where we originate. And she was the last surviving main character of the beloved comedy from television golden age of the 1950s. She was 99 years old. Also, actor Alec Musser, known for his role as Adele Henry on the popular daytime show All My Children. He also passed away. It was confirmed that he died. The cause was suicide by a gunshot wound. Sorry to hear about that. And the sources say that he was alive the evening of January 12th when his fiancee went to sleep. And the next morning, she found him dead in the bathroom and called 911. And Musser was 50 years old, you know. And so, you know, you really hate to report bad news like that, but it happens. It happens. It absolutely happens. Anyway, we're going to stick around. And right now it's 15 minutes past the hour right now. We're still waiting for the arrival of Brian Camp to come along. He sent me no notice that he wasn't going to be here. So we're going to just hold it out. If not, we still have sports. We still have it. We still have sports for you, but we'll give them a couple of minutes before we do. But again, all of you who are watching, take the time to tag your friends if you're watching us on Facebook. And I believe that you can tag your friends on Instagram as well. I believe you can do that. I think you have the capability of doing that. However, what we want you to do is do that, because again, when they see that information coming from you, what they'll do is they'll see that and they'll know it's from you. They'll trust you. Of course, they trust you because they see your name there. And all they have to do is just click on to that notification. It brings them directly to us where we are. And then everybody's here. They can see us. You'll see them. They'll see you. And they can get involved in the show as well as we all do. They can all get involved in the show as well. So we went around for that. And again, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get a chance to do that. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll have a chance to talk to you. And all you have to do is just take your mouse, drag your mouse over to where it says subscribe. That's all you have to do, where it says subscribe. And then once that happens, whoever is out there or watching you, they'll jump on board the same way. Subscribe. And once you click on subscribe, you're in. That'll give you a chance to know when we come on the air live, or whenever we come on the air live, or whenever we post a video of some sort. You'll get a chance to know that. You'll get a chance to know that. And of course, that's what we're going to do. And again, for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, we thank you so much. We want to say hello to Justin, coming out of Honolulu, Hawaii. We thank, and he's watching us on Instagram. So Justin, thank you so much for being along with us, and stay with us too. You know, hey, by the way, Justin, send that nice weather to Hawaii. Send it to us right now. All right, we could use it. I mean, it's been really frigid here, you know. So you know, blow a little wind over here for us. Okay, he's finally here. Better late than never. Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports. What do you missed your train or something?
Actually, no. I was caught up in a breaking news story, but it's not confirmed yet. So that's why I wanted to make sure and everything. So you know, with me, you know, it's 24/7. So I got to make sure that my information is right. So that's what I had to do, and had to type up some last second things also for sports. You know, it's just everyday life. You know,
you want to share what that possible breaking news would be, or you just want to hold on to it?
A potential hiring in football, but nothing major.
Oh, it's sports. Okay, yeah. Well, you could. That's all you then. That's all.
It's all sports. So, yeah. But everything's okay. Everything's the last second. You know, actually, I was prepared like 3 hours ago. To be honest with you, everything was was great. Just had to come on, wait my time at 8:15. But then, in this, that we live in a world with sports and politics where things happen in a second, and there's always mess up everything. So, but it's a good thing. You're always going to be alert and everything. So, but right now everything is okay. But good evening to you and to everybody out there who are tuning in, globally, nationally, locally. I greet you good evening here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where it is exactly 40 degrees. Exactly 40 degrees. Let me get out the light. There's a light that's shining right behind me. But yes, it's been a cold day. We've been hit hard with the cold. Even here in North Carolina, this morning was 19 degrees. Yesterday, it was 18 degrees in the morning. But they did warm up they only got up to a high of 48, 49. So, yeah, if it's cold here in the Carolinas, it's cold everywhere. So we're not exempt. Everybody's getting hit with this here cold weather. So and even in Florida, Florida's a little chilly. It's only 70 degrees out there in Florida. So if Florida gets a little chill, everybody gets chill. Okay, so that's where we at. But let me get to sports. Well, football. We're down to the semifinals. Now. As you know, some of the games that were played last weekend are all complete. Now we're down to 4 games left now. And Saturday, first game 1 would be January 20th for the divisional playoffs. That would be the Houston Texans will be traveling to the Baltimore Ravens, who had a bye. They didn't have to play because they had the best record in the AFC. They got a bye. So that game starts at 4:30. That game would be on ABC, ESPN, and ESP Plus, PN Plus. So that's going to be the first game. Then on Saturday night at 8:15, the Green Bay Packers will be traveling to San Francisco to square off against the San Francisco 49ers, who's the number 1 seed, who had a bye in the NFC. And that game will be on Fox Television. So the 2 teams will have their home games. They had a bye, so they're ready to go. Then on Sunday, to cap off the weekend, it'd be January 21st. It'd be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It'd be a hot weather team will be traveling to Detroit, but they'll be in a dome. They'll be against the Detroit Lions. That game will be at 3 o'clock on NBC. And then the main event, the main one, will be the Kansas City Chiefs, a cold weather team, be going against traveling to Buffalo, New York, who is also another cold weather team. And they had to cancel that Buffalo game from last week because of the cold. The governor of New York City, I believe her name is Kathy Hope. I forget her name, but she's the governor. She decided to cancel the game from Saturday to Monday night because it was heavily snow. That game will be on CBS, and that game starts at 6:30. So get ready for some good football. Maybe cold, maybe a little milder, but this is the time of the year where it gets tense, and everybody's going to be having fun watching this game. There's only 4 games left with this weekend, 4 games. So get ready. Major League Baseball. Congratulations to Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden. They will have their numbers retired. The New York Mets announced for April 14th, Dwight Gooden, number 16, will be retired. And on June 1st, Darryl Strawberry will have their numbers retired. His number will be 18. They were young phenomeners back in the 80s, in the mid 80s, when they came onto the scene. They took New York City by storm. At that time, the Yankees weren't that great, so the Yankees were considered the second-class citizens. But Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden, they had their bouts with being in trouble with drugs and everything. We don't want to get into it. We don't want to bring up the past. I'm a believer. What you did in the past is in the past, and we move on and everything. But they got their life, for the most part, straight now. But they had great careers. Darryl Strawberry, 61 now, was an 8-time All-Star, 7 years with the Mets from 1983 to 1990. He hit a career batting average of 259 with 335 home runs, exactly 1,000 RBIs, and stole 221 bases in 17 seasons. He also played for the Yankees for a short time as well. Doc Gooden, 59 years old, was a 4-time All-Star player with the Mets from 1984 to 1994, winning the 1984 Rookie of the Year and the 1985 Cy Young Award. Also, his record went from 194 wins to 112 losses with an ERA of 3.51 and had 2,293 career strikeouts in 16 seasons. Now, they probably won't make the Hall of Fame because their numbers doesn't equivalent to Hall of Fame numbers, but they took New York by storm. When I say they took it by storm, they took it by storm. They were hot. Everybody was talking about Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden. They were the two young guys that were there that helped win the Mets 1986 World Series championship. That's been their last championship. So congratulations to those two players. This day in sports, January 18th, 1896, the first college basketball game with 5 players on each side is conducted by the University of Iowa. 1951, NFL rules says that tackles and centers are ineligible for forward passes. That means the quarterback or running back throws a pass at them, they are ineligible. They cannot catch the ball. They can recover a fumble, but they cannot catch the ball and run. Nowadays, you have to check in and tell the referee or who's the lead official that I'm coming in as an eligible receiver. That's the only way that they could come in. They cannot, if they cannot do that, then they're not eligible to catch a pass. 1958, Willie O'Ree is the first African-American to appear in the NHL, making his first debut for the Boston Bruins. I'm going to come back to that story in exactly 1 minute. 1963, Al Davis becomes the head coach and GM of the Oakland Raiders. 1973, the Boston Red Sox signed Orlando Cepeda as the first player to sign as a designated hitter. The American League back in 1973 was the first league to agree to this and to sign as a DH. Now, all of baseball has a DH. 1996, baseball owners unanimously approved interleague play in 1997. 1998, Boston Celtics forward Robert Parrish, number 00, retired. He's probably the only player I know that had the number 00. 2017, Baseball Hall of Fame adds Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, and Ivan Rodriguez into the Hall of Fame. And in 2022, when I said about Willie Reeve? Well, the same person, Willie Reeve, the first African-American to play hockey in the NHL, also the same exact day in 2022, they retired his jersey on the 64th anniversary of him being the first African-American player to play in the NHL. So from 1958 to 2022, that's exactly 64 years ago, he was honored being the first African-American player. And in 2022, they retired his number. He is still alive, and he's on my wall up in the man cave. Yes, I even put him up there as for history reasons. Birthdays, 1938. Happy birthday to the late Curt Flood, Major League Baseball outfielder, was born in Houston, Texas. 1950, Pat Sullivan, NCAA College Hall of Famer and Heisman Trophy winner and NFL quarterback, was born in Birmingham, Alabama. In 1958, Larry Smith, NBA player, was born in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. 1964, Brady Anderson, Major League Baseball outfielder, was born in Silver Spring, Maryland. In 1980, Julius Peppers, NFL linebacker, was born in Wilson, North Carolina. And in 1995, Leonard Fournette, NFL running back, was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a cold and shivering day here in the Queens of Charlotte, North Carolina.
I think about those numbers that they retire, just like you just said. Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden. They're going to have their numbers retired, and everybody's getting their numbers retired, and that's why the numbers always elevate now. Because a long time ago you didn't see number 60, and well, occasionally you did, but now they're going up to number 70 and 80. I don't know. Do they have 80? Yeah, well, 80, yeah. 99, you got 99. and when you get the bottom numbers, you got 0 and 0, 0. I have something about those 0 numbers. You out there on the field and you got on your back 0. Maybe I ought to get over that.
Oh, you're a Yankee. Most numbers retire in any sports team in all of professional sports. They have a lot of numbers, along with the Boston Celtics as well too.
Yeah, and now baseball players are wearing football numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. 99. Who would have ever thought somebody would have a baseball number of 99?
Is he the only one wearing 99?
As far as I know, I really can't say if anybody else offhand. It may come up, but as I right now, he's the only one, and that's a football number. That's a number. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, listen, and I'm waiting for the day when they actually put 3 digits on the back, 100. You think they'll ever get that far? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It may not happen in this lifetime. Maybe another lifetime. I don't know. That would be interesting to see. And I want to. And if that happens, if that ever happens, I want to know who that person is, so I can keep it in the back of my mind for the rest of my life. Who was the first player who reached the 100 mark behind their back?
Or else a 3-digit number.
3-digit number. Yeah.
If they do that, they got to make the numbers small for the numbers to fit on the back of the uniform.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do that, But I don't know. I like that. And then too, remember when pitchers, if you ever notice, pitchers in the old days when they wore the numbers, when they were pitchers, it was only 2. It was 2 digits. They didn't go below. I don't think they went below 14 at the time. Or maybe, I don't think they went below 14, but they never were single digits. A pitcher never wore single, but they are wearing them now.
They are wearing it now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember when
they look at
it. Yeah. And when Babe Ruth was playing, when he was a pitcher, didn't he wear another number other than number 3?
That's a good question. I don't. Of course, he started out with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, right. And he pitched for the Boston Red Sox.
He sure did. Yes, he sure did. And he was a pitcher for I think 5 years. I think that was it. And then when he got traded to the Yankees, that's where he wore the number 3.
Yeah. But I wonder what he wore when he played Boston. I'm gonna have to research that one. That's a good thing to research, what he wore. Well, maybe they didn't have any numbers back then.
You know what? They didn't, but I don't know.
Well, they had to use the numbers. They had to put the numbers on them to identify the player. When you were up in
back then, they didn't have no names in the back of the uniform, But here it is. He wore number 2 for the Red Sox. And he wore 2. He wore number 2.
And he pitched with that number.
He pitched with that number, yeah. I'm trying who won number 2 for the Red Sox? Well, I don't know. It's just said he won. He just says he wore number 2. I was trying to Google everything.
Yeah.
You know what? I tell you, what number did Babe Ruth wear when he was with the Boston Red Sox? I want to get that right away. No, it doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
Yeah.
It's got to be some kind of, maybe if you go to another source or something, maybe you could find out. But and then maybe, I don't know. Again, they didn't have, but you just said number 2 he wore for
Well,
Boston.
that's what it says, but it says Justin Turner, somebody. But he might have wore number 3 with them. It doesn't really say.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no name on the back of it. So
yeah.
Hey.
Well, but Babe Ruth came up in a time before they started using the numbers. Now, I read up on that. I can't even remember though what year they started putting numbers on the back of the jerseys.
They names. I think they start putting names in the 60s, if I recall.
Yeah,
yeah,
right, exactly. But and the Yankees never put names.
Even today, they don't have names on their jersey unless you get it custom made.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
That's odd though.
They had a lot of rules back then too. Back in the 60s, I remember that a long time ago. I can't speak for all teams, but especially the Yankees. The Yankees were really tough on the ball players when it came to their facial hair. They had to be clean shaven, and they couldn't wear long hair.
Yeah, but then Charlie O. Finley of the Oakland A's in the early 70s paid his players, if they wore mustaches, they would get a $500 raise. And they all wore mustaches. Even Raleigh Fingers got the little mustache that's in a curl. Reggie, all those guys. Charlie Finley was the one that broke many barriers when it came to baseball. Because, when you're in sports, players don't even wear suits anymore when they traveling.
No.
They just wear whatever they want to wear,
And yeah, right. They didn't. And another thing that players didn't do at the time, they didn't, like I said, they had to be clean shaven. They couldn't wear jewelry.
That's another thing that I see that everywhere in baseball. They have their collar open and their shirt open, and you can see the gold chain.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. It's changed.
But they couldn't wear jewelry, not even rings. Now, if a guy was married, you're not supposed to take off your wedding band. Not supposed to do that. But they didn't do. They took all of their jewelry off and left it in their locker till the game time was over. And the reason, I can understand why they didn't wear jewelry, especially rings, because you're constantly throwing. You don't want to lose your ring, unless, of course, you have one of those rings that you can't get off your finger.
If I was an athlete, I would not wear no rings, no jewelry, because you're playing on a field where it's tough.
Yeah.
Sliding and what's the point of wearing jewelry? I understand you if you're married, but you still shouldn't be, even with a wedding ring, you should not be wearing a wedding ring when you're in sports. Boxing or anything like that.
It's a distraction. And the guys who are wearing jewelry with the chains, right? Those chains they come down to here. I mean, that's a distraction. And you throw the ball, suppose accidentally your hand went under that loop of the chain, when you're throwing that ball.
Now that says Babe Ruth didn't wear a number until 1929, and then wore number 3 for the rest of his career. It is possible that the flamboyant Babe Ruth wore number 0 during a band storming. So there's so many stories, but according to what I just typed up, so he didn't wear. They didn't have no videos or anything like that back in those days. So but we do know with old clips that he wore number 3 with the Yankees.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. He wore that number 3.
Yeah.
And but all of those low numbers are retired now. Every one of those low numbers are retired. Every one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All gone. So I guess I'm going to take. I have to ask.
Tomorrow, yes. God's willing, I will be here till tomorrow. And
Oh,
10:20, yes, I'll be here.
okay. Sounds good.
Yes, very, very good. America and everybody throughout the world could see my face, and I could, yes.
That'll be great. Okay, we'll see you then tomorrow on the coffee hour.
All right, take care now.
Okay, that's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports. Of course, he's always with us, and he's going to be with us tomorrow on the coffee hour. He just said it, so we're happy to hear that. You know, so a relief. And so we look forward to that. And again, if you have any questions, sports-related questions, we love talking sports. And I love getting together, talking sports with him. He knows. And if you have any questions, any sports-related questions, of course, we'd be able to relay those questions to you. And if you join us on the coffee hour, it's the same thing. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And we're going to be here till the top of the hour. And again, we want to say hello to all of you who are joining us. Justin, when he started watching us, on Instagram. Now he's watching us on both. He's on Instagram and YouTube. I guess one is in the kitchen and one is in the living room, right? I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for being along with us. We're going to be here, as I said, to the top of the hour. And if you're just joining us, please be advised that you can contact us. All you have to do is jump on your keyboard. If you want to say anything in particular, of course, we'd be glad to hear from you. And if you don't want to say anything at all, that's okay too, because we understand the fact that you just want to sit back and relax and enjoy the show. But again, I love talking to you guys. I really love talking to you guys. So thank you again for your patronage. And as Jimmy Dean says, I hope you try. Well, that's a fake Jimmy Dean, the sausage man. Jimmy Dean is already dead. So someone else is using that voice that sounds like him. And I guess a lot of you will wonder, that sounds just like Jimmy Dean, but Jimmy Dean is dead. That's a guy that sounds like Jimmy Dean. That's how they do that. Okay, let's go back in time. On this day in history, 1934, Eugene O'Neill plays his play Days Without End premieres in New York City. On this day in history, in 1944, the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City hosted a jazz concert for the first time. Performers include Louis Armstrong, Billie Holiday, Lionel Hampton, Mildred Bailey, Red Navarro, Roy Eldridge, Jack Teagarden, and Benny Goodman. And they all came via a remote. That was a remote hookup back then. See? Technology was swinging back then. On this day in history, 1948, TV talent, The Original Amateur Hour, hosted by Ted Mack, premieres on the Dumont Television Network. On this day in history, 1964, the Beatles make their first appearance on a U.S. Billboard chart with the single, I Want to Hold Your Hand, at number 45. On this day in history, 1973, actor John Cleese, final episode on the Monty Python Flying Circus, performed on BBC TV. Back in 1974, The $6 Million Man starring Lee Majors premieres on ABC TV. In 1975, the Jeffersons spinoff from All in the Family premiered on CBS. 1980, the 7th American Music Awards go to Barry Manilow, Donna Summer, the Bee Gees, and Kenny Rogers. Back in 1980, Pink Floyd's album The Wall hits number 1. In 1980, Studio 54 owners Steve Rebell and Ian I'm going to pronounce that. It could be Skarger or Schrager. Anyway, they received sentence of 3.5 years in prison and fined $20,000 for tax evasion. In 1986, AIDS charity record, That's What Friends Are For, by Dionne Warwick with Elton John, Gladys Knight, and Stevie Wonder hits number 1. On this day in history, in 1987, the 3rd Soap Opera Digest Awards go to Days of Our Lives. In 1989, the fourth Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees go to Dion, Otis Redding, the Rolling Stones, The Temptations, Stevie Wonder, the Ink Spots, Bessie Smith, the Soul Stirrers, and Phil Spector. In 1992, the 49th Golden Globe Awards, they go to Bugsy, starring Nick Nolte and Jodie Foster. In 1993, Martin Luther King Jr. holiday observed in all 50 states in the US for the first time. In 2008, the United Nations announced actor George Clooney as a UN messenger for peace. In 2009, We Are One. It's a concert at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. prior to Barack Obama's inauguration, attracts an estimate crowd of 400,000 people. Performances by Beyonce, John Bon Jovi, Garth Brooks, Mariah Carey, Josh Groban, Herbie Hancock, John Legend, Pete Seeger, Bruce Springsteen, the boss, U2, and Stevie Wonder. In 2014, the year 2014, the 20th Screen Actors Guild Awards go to Matthew McConaughey and Cate Blanchett. Comic actor Oliver Hardy, the other half of the Laurel and Hardy people. Oliver Hardy was born on this day in 1892, January 18th, 1892. He was born in Harlem, Georgia, not New York, Harlem, Georgia. And he died August 7th in 1957 at the age of 65 years old. And he died from cerebral thrombosis. Actor Cary Grant was born on this day in 1904. He was born in Bristol, England, in the United Kingdom. He died November 29th in 1986 at the age of 82 years old from cerebral hemorrhage. In 1911, on this day in history, comedian and actor Danny Kaye was born in Brooklyn, New York, and he passed away in 1987. In 1941, singer Bobby Goldborough. He was born in Marianna, Florida, and he's 83 years old today. On this day in history in 1941, David Ruffin of the Temptations was born in Wynot, Mississippi. He died in 1991. In 1943, jazz drummer Al Foster was born in Richmond, Virginia. He's now 81 years old today. He's still alive and living. Yeah, he's still alive. He's 81 years old today. And back in 1951, on this day in history, Elijah Cummings, American politician, representative of Maryland, was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and he passed away 2019. Actor Kevin Costner was born on this day in 1955 in Los Angeles, California. He's 69 years old today. In 1969, actress Audrey Hepburn marries her second husband and psychologist Andre Dottie, and they got divorced in 1982. In 1974, author Maya Angelou weds Paul Bernard Dufault. And on this day in history, in 1996, Lisa Marie Presley files for divorce from Michael Jackson in New York City. In 1978, actor Carl Betts was the father on the Donna Reed Show. He died of lung cancer at the age of 56 years old. In 2001, actor Al Waxman died. And he died at the age, well, it doesn't say age, but he was born in 1935. And singer Glenn Frey died on this day in 2016 at the age of 67 years old. He was born November 6, 1948. He was born in Detroit, Michigan. And finally, in 2023, Dave Crosby, formerly of the Byrds and Crosby, Still and Nash, dies at the age of 81 years old. And so you have it. That's what's happening on this day in history. And those of you who may have information on what happened on this day in history that I didn't mention, and please, relay it to me right now. And I will, of course, feed it to everyone that's here right now. But that's what's happening on this day in history. So thank you so much for being along with us here on Talkback Live. I want to say hello to Debbie Kirkland watching us on Facebook. Debbie, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being with us. Did you have a lot of snow out there in Jersey? Gosh, because when it did snow, we didn't get hit too hard in Manhattan. As a matter of fact, we didn't get hit hard at all. It stuck on the ground, but hours later, it was gone. But I'm pretty sure in the outer boroughs of New York City, snow is coming down, sticking, and some people still may have the aftermath of the snow, still cleaning it up from their houses and from their lawns and all of that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us here. And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if you have any questions or any kind of information you want to know about the show and you don't want to talk about it live, that's okay too. But I do have an email address and a telephone number how you can get in touch with me. And of course, you can do that. All you have to do is, I'll give you the email address first. How about that? Email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N, Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Prod is P-R-O-D, that's short for productions. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. And you can do that right now if you like. Or you can call number 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Now, if you have any suggestions or maybe you want to critique the show or anything you want to talk about, even if it's just to say hi, don't worry, you're not wasting my time. Love to hear from you. You can do that, of course, we will, of course, if you need us to answer you, we'll do that too. And so, and then you can pass along that information to others as well, but keep that information with you. You don't have to use a Rolodex anymore. We're all out of Rolodex. Everything's on the phone now, on your cell phone, right? And you can do that. So please keep that in mind. Let me give you that email address again. The email address, once again, is frankallanprod at AOL.com. That's frankallanprod@AOL.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Again, that number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. We'd love to hear from you. I await your call. I look forward to hearing from you. I want to hear from you because it's very important to me, So do that right away if you possibly can. Okay, there you go. All right, it's Talkback Live. And I gave you all that information. And what I want to do right now is give you movie information. Yeah, we talk about those movies, right? Now, a lot of you want to do certain things on the weekend, and I understand that the weekend is coming up. And I know here in New York, we're supposed to be getting some snow tomorrow as well. And I don't know how long that's going to last, but it's sort of hitting us now. And that may be a time when you don't want to go out and you want to stay in and do your indoor activities. And one of the things you might want to do is catch up on some movies you haven't seen in a long time, or possibly, catch up on some movies that you forgot all about. Now, how many do I have this week? I have 3 that I want to convey to you this week. I have 3 movies. Okay. And so let me do this right now. Let's go back. Let's start right now. Go back to 1955. A lot of you weren't born then, but there was a movie called Blackboard Jungle, starring Glenn Ford, Vic Morrow, and Anne Francis, and Sidney Poitier was in it as well. Back in his younger day, 1955, Sidney Poitier. And that's on, you can see that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can see that Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm giving you everything Eastern time, so you can act accordingly. Everything I give you is Eastern, but then you could, for those of you who are a different time zone, you can act accordingly and find out where it is. But that's Blackboard Jungle. Also, we have another one back in 1965 when music was really, really good. When the Boys Meet the Girls, starring Connie Francis and Harve Pesnell, and Sue Ann Langdon also is in that movie. And that's Turner Classic Movies, but that's on Sunday, and it's at 6 a.m. Eastern. Okay, you don't want to wake up that early? Some people don't, and some people don't even want to watch TV that early or watch anything that early. And you're getting ready, you want to head off to church or whatever it is. DVR it, DVR it, and you can watch it later on at your very own convenience. And that's very nice. You can do that. All right. Here's another one. This goes back to 1964. And oh, by the way, When the Boys Meet the Girls, that's a musical too. And you'll hear some of the music. But here's something that has a lot of great music on it. 1964, Get Yourself a College Girl. And a lot of people are in there. You have the Dave Clark Five, and Astro Gilberto is in there as well. You know, a lot of great movies, a lot of great musical figures from that era is on there. I'm not going to give it all away. You're going to have to watch it. It's called Get Yourself a College Girl. I think Nancy Sinatra may be in there too as well, but you'll get a chance to see it. Anyway, the main character is Marianne Mobley. She's in there, and that's on Turner Classic Movies, and you can see that Sunday at 8 a.m. I guess that follows When the Boys Meet the Girls. So if you're not up that early in the morning, DVR both of those great movies, and you could see it. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. And of course, you could also go to Turner Classic Movies, and you know what you can do when you get there? When you go to Turner Classic Movies, you can scroll through the program guide, because there may be other movies, particularly that I didn't mention, that are out there that you may like. Now, I didn't mention them because, no, it's not that I don't like them, but these are my picks of the week. And that's why I always each week direct you to Turner Classic Movies. This way, you could see other movies and you could watch them in real time, or you can DVR them all. You can DVR them. A lot of people love to DVR movies and watch them later, and that's all good too. And then again, the good thing about DVRing movies is that you can watch it at your very own convenience. And also, when you go to online, you can go to those movies, those classic movies that are there. It's called, what do we call those? Do we call movies? I don't know. How do you describe it when you go there and looking for all of those movies? And what's it? I don't know. Just go there. There's a lot of movies from A to Z. From A to Z, a lot of great movies from A to Z. On demand. You can go on demand from A to Z. Free movies. On demand, also, you have pay-per-view movies, right? Movies that are in the theater now, which you can watch in the comfort of your own home. Also, movies that were once in the theater not too long ago. Of course, you pay a lot more for the movies that are already in the theater. And of course, you're going to pay for the movies that were once there not too long ago, but you can watch them all in the comfort of your own home. And while you're on demand, you will discover there are a lot of great documentaries, a lot of children programs, a lot of great sporting events. All of that is there for your weekend, especially if you're in an area where you're going to get a lot of inclement weather. Take time out to do that right now. So let me, again, go through these movies once again. And please be in mind that these great movies are all classics. This is a black and white movie. Let's start it again. Blackboard Jungle with Glenn Ford, Vic Morrow, Anne Francis, and Sidney Poitier. That's Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. And my set just fell apart. Turner Classic Movies. Oh boy, there we go. We got to do something about that. Anyway, also you have When the Boys Meet the Girls, 1965. Connie Francis, Harv Presnell, and Sue-Ann Langdon. That's Turner Classic Movies, Sunday at 6:15 a.m. And then you have Get Yourself a College Girl from 1964. 1964. And that's Marianne Mobley, and that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern, and I'm pretty sure you're going to like all of those movies. So Watch them all. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like them more. I gotta get out of here right now before things are already crazy right now. So I'm gonna get out of here. But I will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the coffee hour. Brian Kemp will be with me. You heard him, and he's gonna be with me for sports. He'll have the latest developments in today's world of sports update. And also, if you can't do that, you can meet me back here again next week at 8 a.m. for more Talk Back Live. Brian Kemp again with more sports, and of course, you and me and all of us together. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and above all, good night. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.